And the Cleveland Browns have the Cleveland Browns, who have Shedeur Sanders as their third-string quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, who they took after drafting Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, who's brought the circus to Cleveland. How did we get here? And I'm not putting this all on this single woman, Catherine Hickman, but I'm telling you, when you go down this path of delusion, it takes you to the craziest places on the planet, where we have some 36-year-old Canadian woman, tax attorney, lawyer, masquerading as an assistant general manager for the Cleveland Browns. And they're running her out for a dog and pony show, I guess on Media Day, where she's the assistant general manager. How many assistant general managers have you seen do full-blown press conferences? How many? What is Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry and the National Football League doing? Diversity is our strength. Just sprinkle women on a football situation and it's going to make it better. Here is Catherine Hickman, 36-year-old Canadian tax lawyer, now assistant general manager in the National Football League. She's asked a question about evaluating players or quarterbacks, and she starts talking about a Rolodex of situations. Let's play the clip.
I'll go on field, and I could give you a non-negotiable off the field as well. So let's go on field, really thinking through what kind of Rolodex of situations he's acquired over the years, what kind of experience he's had in terms of decision making, and again, situations he's seen. I think over the course of the year, that's something that, as I evaluated quarterback, I found to be very important in how you can project future success in performance. Not that it's a perfect science, but what kind of situation, decision making process they have been exposed to in college and for how long, I think is pretty important.
That was ChatGPT. That was Grok answering a question for Catherine Hickman as she masquerades and parades around as an assistant general manager. That was from earlier in the year, her talking about quarterbacks and her evaluation of quarterbacks and the Rolodex of situations. Gibberish. Here she was yesterday, again, talking about data points. And as it relates to evaluating quarterbacks. Play the clip.
Yeah, it's actually a great question, Daryl. That's what makes our job fun and hard. I'd say I'd just go back to like the plan that we have in place for these guys when it comes to developing is acquiring as many valuable data points we can. Now we know these things take time. So what is that going to look like at the end of the year? I don't have a crystal ball to tell you, and I don't do well with hypotheticals, but I will say that every opportunity we will have to evaluate them, we will take. None of them is going to take, a back seat in how we plan and program for them with the reps that we have. And then from there, we'll see what the spring brings, and we'll evaluate all possibilities like we always do.
Look, I know I struggle with enunciation of peculiar names, but, those are hypothetical situations, as Catherine Hickman just saying, hypothetical. And look, I know she's just excited and it's just a mispronounced word, but what are we doing? Why are we putting this woman in this position? And why are we pretending that this is normal? And why is some 36-year-old tax lawyer from Canada an assistant general manager in the National Football League? We've created this delusional world where women know just as much about football as men, and they're just as qualified to be executives and leaders in football as men. Women are our equals. We're telling lies to each other. And the Browns have turned their organization into a nationwide laughingstock. They have a circus situation at the quarterback position, and you wonder how they got there. And you said, well, Andrew Berry, who's the general manager, and Kevin Stefanski, who's the head coach, they actually make the decisions. No, when you let incompetence and feminist agendas into your decision-making room, and then they're putting her out there in a press conference because her voice is valuable. She must be heard. I am woman. Hear Catherine roar. This is it. So they're doing the same gimmick within their offices as well. When the cameras are not there, we must hear from Catherine. Let's hear her perspective. And she rambles some gibberish. And feminist gibberish. And everybody goes off into some fantasy world like what she has to say is important. Delusion is killing us. It's killing the Cleveland Browns. And you wonder why men have gone so soft and can't handle the truth and can't have real conversations. Because we've created the myth, the lie, that women have to be invited into all spaces, all male spaces, or that space is sexist, racist, homophobic, whatever. It's not true. This is a babbling idiot who's been the epitome of DEI. Let me walk you through the resume. And for those of you that have lived long enough, you'll understand my point here. She's off in Canada 10 years ago, being a tax attorney and a lawyer. Tax attorney and lawyer, that's kind of redundant. But she then decides to live out her dream. I want to get into football. I want to be a football executive. And she gets the coordinator of football operations for the Montreal Alouettes from 2015 to 2017. She instantly gets promoted to assistant general manager of the Montreal Alouettes. This is Canadian football in 2017. So she's been doing taxes. She's been working for H&R Block and gets a job with the Montreal Alouettes. I'm exaggerating about H&R Block, and I want to apologize to my mother and aunt. They both spent years working for H&R Block. This woman's probably not qualified to work for H&R Block, but let me continue. Somehow, she's a tax attorney, immediately gets a job coordinator of football operations for the Montreal Alouettes, does that for 2 years, spends a year or a half a year as the assistant general manager of the Montreal Alouettes, then moves to director of football administration for the Toronto Argonauts for 1 year, 2018 to 2019. I don't know what the Tampa Bay Vipers are. Maybe it's arena football. I don't know. But they don't even list a job for her there. They just say front office. This is according to Wikipedia. No one knows what she did with the Tampa Bay Vipers. I'm going to assume it's probably some arena team. Someone help me out. But she does that in 2019 as well. So look, she's Director of Football Administration, Toronto Argonauts, 2018-2019. Front office for the Tampa Bay Vipers for 2019. And then from that Tampa Bay Vipers, football operations coordinator, Philadelphia Eagles. She goes from the front office of the Tampa Bay Vipers to football operations coordinator, Philadelphia Eagles. 2019 to 2021, vice president of football operations, Philadelphia Eagles, 2021 to 2022, and now assistant general manager, Cleveland Browns, 2022. I can't say this is all up the ladder, But all of these different jobs in such a short period of time, for someone not coaching on the field, not playing on the field, I'm sorry, the Tampa Bay Vipers are an XFL team, thank you, not playing on the field, how do you get all these different jobs that quick? Is your impact, what impact is this woman having that she's getting all these different jobs every 6 months? Every year, there's a new job. That's someone being passed around to check quota boxes, DEI quota boxes. Hey, look at us. She is now the highest ranking woman in the National Football League in terms of team football operations. And I'm sure soon she'll be general manager of some team because we live in this state of delusion. Don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest content.